And good morning. Welcome to a Tadpoll for a Thursday morning. We have a busy one. It's the holiday season, so naturally a lot of things to talk about. Jan Teen's going to talk about one of the favorite things of the community for years, and that's been the community Christmas dinner. We're going to be talking with Carly Stevens about the Prairie View Soup and Santa and also the ugly sweater contest that they're having at the Farmers State Bank. I couldn't find an ugly sweater, so I didn't wear one today, Jan.
Okay.
A cantata and a high school concert and amendment. Kelsey Pinkerton is going to be here with that. CNR Railroad. Remember Bill Clark? He used to show the trains. Well, Bill Schick's continuing to do that. We'll be doing that. Mike Gower, USD 325 superintendent, stopping by to talk about some of the action that the board took the other night on the drug testing. Also, the Logan Bell Choir will be talking with someone on that. And then Angie Wells, of course, will be stopping by toward the end of the program to talk about the things coming up in the chamber. I think she's going to give us the winners of the Christmas lighting contest and some other things going on. But as I said, it's a busy, busy time. And Jan Teens joined us this morning. And Jan, thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. How did you get involved in this all of a sudden here?
Well, I'm a member out at the Lecter Christian Reformed Church, and the Lecter Church and the Prairie View Reformed Church and the Catholic Church here in Phillipsburg are in charge of the community Christmas dinner this year. Mm-hmm. And I was asked to come on with you. I was on the radio yesterday, and I'm on with you today. And I'd like to come on here and invite the community to the Phillips County Ministerial Alliance Community Christmas Dinner that everyone is welcome to attend.
Sure. Yeah, and it's great that the Olive family did that for years. Olive boy, and they're involved.
Sure, it's evolved, and I've looked at some of the facts, and between 250 and 300 people enjoy that meal every year. Well,
a lot of people, their family isn't here, and it should be with someone. It's not only the meal.
Absolutely,
it's
fellowship.
The fellowship is what you have, and you see people and everything. Okay, when is it?
It's going to be, of course, on Christmas Day. Yeah. Yep, the event will take place on Christmas Day, Tuesday. It's on Tuesday this year, December 25th. And we'll be serving from 11 to 1. Mm-hmm. They might have saw it on some flyers around town. It just said noon, but it's from 11 to 1.
Okay.
Is when the serving is at the center, just south of the stoplight. It was formerly the Golden Year Center, but I think they call it just the center now, and just south of the stoplight. So.
Okay. It's amazing that, the fact that not only is the meal served, but, this is Christmas, this for your church members. And our church members, they're giving up part of their Christmas to help the community.
Absolutely. We've moved some things around a little bit to make it so it'll work for everybody. But there's a lot of people giving a lot of their time to this event. But it's a very worthwhile event. And some of the people that have helped in the past have told me it's very rewarding to also work there.
Sure, right. And it is the fact that, you can move things around. And I know some people that maybe just take their family there and let them do other things around the house where you don't have to worry about a big dinner.
It's a busy time. It's a busy time.
Okay, so charges for it. I mean, it's free will. Is that what it is?
It's Jen? A donation box is available, but donations are not expected.
That's great.
It's just if you care to do that, that's great. And if it isn't work out for you, don't feel like you're obligated to do anything.
Okay. Do they have you doing anything, making mashed potatoes or anything?
They tell me I'm going to peel potatoes on the 24th. That's what I've been told.
That's everyone I always have on them always said, the guy is peeling potatoes,
That's right, peeling potatoes and some electric cords. I think I'm in charge of some electricity. So.
Okay. Now, there's also, we do have shut-ins.
Absolutely.
It's Christmas, so
it's important to get something to them if they'd like it.
How does that work? What do you have to do on
Delivery is available for those unable to attend. You can RSVP for the meal. Please do it by December 20th, so we know how many to expect. And we have a couple numbers here, a couple contact people. Judy Vanderveen over at Prairie View, and her number is 973-2246. And Dave and Margaret Kelsch, who most people in Phillipsburg know, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah, right.
543-2491. And if you don't get anybody at those numbers, please leave a message and they'll get back with you. Mm-hmm. I believe at 10:30 in the morning we'll start preparing. The line will assemble, and at 10:30, before we open at 11, the line will prepare those takeout meals.
Okay, right.
And if you don't get those numbers today, you'll see these flyers in the local businesses.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if you have a a loved one or a family member that doesn't get out, and you know they would appreciate having this, please make a contact.
That's great.
We've got folks that will deliver the meals.
Okay, and so you can enjoy the fellowship and good food and everything. Okay, what are you going to be serving? What's the menu for?
Well, the menu is the regular holiday meal. Why not on Christmas? You know,
right.
And we got turkey and ham, potatoes, sweet potatoes, dressing, which I like. Yeah, everybody does. Green beans, salad, rolls, desserts, and choice of tea or coffee. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a lot of it.
Sure.
We're going to have plenty.
Plenty to eat. And I think, stress again the fact, Jan, that donations aren't expected. If you want to, you can.
That's right.
It's a Christmas gift from the Ministerial Alliance.
That's right. And I understand that they get some backing on this also, and the local churches back the Ministerial Alliance. So please come. Don't worry about that part of it, and please come. If you happen to be new to the community.
Sure.
You know
That'd
what I mean?
Be a good way to meet people.
Yeah, meet people there, absolutely. And if you don't have a commitment, people have family out of town, sharing their family with the holidays, please come.
How do you know how much food to fix? How do you figure that out?
Well, this is all just, I've been enlightened about this a little bit.
Okay.
Monty Abel had a couple bound notebooks.
Oh, really?
And there's been a long history kept of what it takes to prepare this meal.
Wow.
So there's guidelines to go by, thank goodness.
Yes.
And 2 bound notebooks full of information that people have compiled, which makes it a lot easier. It's still a big job.
Sure.
Still a big job, but it helps a lot.
And the cycling, how often does it go around? How often is it?
I can't tell you, but I think just for example, I think I've been married a little over 30 years, and I can remember this will be the 3rd time my wife and I will have helped with it.
Sure, okay.
So maybe every 10 years, your church is
all the churches, which I think is great too. It's getting together the churches and getting different things.
Absolutely. And we all share one faith, and we all have one mission. Right. And I think the Ministerial Alliance deserves a thumbs up for continuing to do this.
Ecumenical, getting things together. Have you ever taken potatoes and peeled them before? Have you ever done that?
I've taken the skin off a few carrots, but I think I better peel my first potato while nobody's watching because
I'm afraid I'd have about a potato this big. I'd end up with about that much.
That's right. That's right.
I'd be saying, well, I'm taking too much peeling off.
But I'm sure they'll get me trained.
Okay. Yeah. Well, very good. It sounds like that things are really, really planned and
things are coming along.
Churches will be doing this, and again, the fact that the people give up their day to help with something to make it a great place to live.
We've had a nice amount of people volunteer. We've had people volunteer that aren't even a member of these 3 churches.
Sure.
They know that it needs help, so it's that kind of community that pitches in to get this all done.
Okay, when is it again?
On Christmas Day.
All right.
We'll be serving from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And if you need a carry-out meal, if you'd like to, please try to get those requests in by the 20th of December.
Okay, you want to give the numbers on that again?
Sure, again, it's Judy Vanderveen over at Prairie View, and it's 973-2246, and Dave and Margaret Kelch here in town, 543-2491.
It's a great way to celebrate Christmas, and again, if your family's coming in, you're welcome. It's not a hardship thing, just everyone is welcome to come.
Nope. It's a holiday feast.
Okay, fine. Jan, well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'll let you get to work. Go back over.
Yep, I'm going to go to work for the rest of the day. It's going to be a little windy out, but that's all right.
They said winds were going to be 30 or 40. I heard 3 o'clock this morning it sounded like it was windy, and then it's supposed to be windy again, and not as much in the southern part of the state, but they're concerned now about the wind and the fire and all that thing.
Yep, but it's wintertime in Kansas. Okay, you never know what you're going to get.
Jan, thank you. Well, you're going to come next week,
That's right. I'll be here next
week
again.
All right, very good.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it. Jan Teen with us this morning, telling about the meal coming up on Christmas Day. Well, we'll see if we have someone to talk about ugly sweaters coming up next after we take this time out.
Your dreams have been our dreams since 1884 when we first opened our doors. This is Lloyd Culbertson for First National Bank and Trust. It's a place filled with friends and neighbors who want nothing more than seeing you happy and better off. First National Bank and Trust in Phillipsburg, Logan, and Long Island, Smith County Bank in Smith Center, Solomon Valley Bank, Beloit. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, staying in the holiday mood right now, we're going to talk about some other things with Carly Stephen. And two things. First, the Farmers State Bank is going to be having a contest and open house, and then also Prairie View is having a soup and salad. Carly, let's talk first about Farmers State Bank. What are you guys doing there?
Okay, so December 14th, so tomorrow, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is our holiday open house, and this year we decided to do an ugly sweater contest. So it's open to the public, so if you stop in, make sure and wear your ugly Christmas sweater, and you'll get your name put into a drawing to win a prize. We'll have food, drinks, and our calendars, and then our complimentary Christmas gift. We have a little something for the men and a little something for the women this year.
So you have an early Christmas gift then.
Yeah, exactly.
Who came up with the ugly sweaters? You know, there's a lot of ugly Christmas sweaters out there.
Yeah, there
are.
are.
I was in Hayes on Tuesday. I was killing some time. I don't know much of a shopper. I was just kind of walking around this one store. There were some ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't know, maybe I ought to buy one, but I didn't, obviously. But I'll plan to be there for your open house. And,
sure.
Okay, so is it going to be judged or is it a drawing?
We decided to do a drawing. So if you come in with one on, then you just fill out a piece of paper, and then at the end of the day, we'll draw. And
what do they get?
We're gonna do chamber bucks this year.
Okay.
$100 in chamber bucks. So keep it in the community. Help maybe finish up some people's Christmas shopping, or help buy their groceries for their Christmas Day and stuff. So.
And I thought maybe you were going to say the winner of the ugly Christmas gets a ugly New Year's sweater or something like that. Okay.
I don't know if they make those.
Okay. And what else do you have tomorrow? Do you have refreshments, obviously?
Yep, drinks and snacks and cookies, and we'll have it all.
So if someone wants to see some ugly sweaters, be there tomorrow.
Yep,
right?
be there tomorrow. Come have some fun.
Okay.
So.
And then what's happening in Prairie View? We talked about Prairie View. We could tell us about what's going on in Prairie View.
So Prairie View is going to be doing their Soup with Santa, and it's going to be at the Prairie View Community Center, and it's this Saturday, the 15th. It starts at 11:30 a.m., and they'll have soup and drinks, of course, and then Santa will be there. And if you stop and visit with Santa, then you get a little goodie bag.
Really?
And it's free will donation.
Free will donation for that. The Prairie View, the city of Prairie View is doing that, or
yes,
okay.
I believe so.
Maybe okay. And where do you go for that?
It's at the community center there in Prairie View.
Okay.
So.
And any age gets a goodie bag.
I'm sure if you've been a good girl or boy, Santa will probably give you one, no matter your age.
I've got to ask you. Do you watch TV much?
Oh yeah.
Do you watch you watch the Hallmark shows?
Sometimes.
I tell you, I'm home a lot now I've got Hallmark. They have a million Christmas shows. And they all have the same thing. You know, you can join a Hallmark show at any time in the 2 hours and know exactly what's going on if you've never seen before. Because there's always a man and woman. One has lost their spouse. they have a kid and they're back home to save something, you just know it's amazing. And they've got a bunch of them, you know.
I hear they have a lot more this year.
Yeah,
so.
they're adding a lot of new ones in there. So I guess it gets you in the spirit, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's funny because they all have basically the same storyline, and that's why I watched part of one last night where a lady from the 1944 was brought forward this a time traveler thing and how she was living. Then she went back, and that was a little different, but it's still the same thing, you know. And then the guy or the gal who they're going with at the beginning of the show, they never end up with them. They always end up with someone else.
Someone
you know.
else, yep.
Is that right? Did you watch those? Is that the way it goes? Yeah. Okay. But a lot of people watch it. Anyway, so this is coming up Saturday. When in Prairie View again?
Saturday, the 15th, starting at 11:30 a.m.
Okay, and soup with Santa.
Soup with Santa,
Do you know what kind of soup it's going to be?
I don't.
It'll be a surprise. I bet you chicken noodles.
Chicken noodle for sure, probably.
Probably
Homemade
makes sense
chicken
to be a
noodle,
homemade
probably.
chicken. Okay. All right, let's turn the paper back over
Okay.
and we'll talk about again tomorrow at the Farmers State Bank.
Okay, so once again, it's our holiday open house. It's open to the public. We encourage you to wear an ugly Christmas sweater to get your name put into the drawing to win $100 in chamber bonus bucks. We're going to have food, drinks, our calendars, and our complimentary Christmas gift. So.
Okay, all right, very good. It's a gift for a man or woman.
Yep,
right?
gift for a
be
man
sure you
or a
show-
woman. So
take the whole family in there.
yeah, yeah, we'd love to see everyone. So
If I have a sweater with just snowflakes on it, does that count, or is that to be pretty ugly?
I'm sure we probably could let that slide.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to work.
Okay.
And thanks for coming on.
Yes,
we hope a
thanks
lot
for
of people
having
show
me.
up with a lot of
Yes, we hope
sweaters.
so too.
A lot of ugly sweaters tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm excited to see what everyone
Okay,
comes
fine.
up with. So.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
Dad.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. Carly Stephen with us this morning, telling us about what's happening at the Farmers State Bank tomorrow. What was that time again? From when?
9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
9. Well, your regular open hours.
Our
right?
regular open
Regular open hours.
hours, yep.
Go in anytime tomorrow and get your refreshments and wear that ugly sweater if you got it. Okay. Next up, we have scheduled Kelsey Pinkerton. If she's out here, we'll be talking to her about a couple of big musical events, again, in the spirit of the holiday season. And we'll be back after another timeout. Back on the Tadpoll on a Thursday morning. I don't know, is it windy out there yet, Kelsey?
A little bit.
It's starting to get windy. All right. And it's not supposed to be cold. It's just I think the wind chill will go down there. It's supposed to have pretty good winds today. Kelsey Pinkerton with us. We're going to talk about a couple of big musical events. They're really great. I always look forward to Christmas for the cantata, and I always look forward because around Christmas time, the choir and amendment from the high school pool. Let's talk about the cantata first. Wow, when did you get everything all together to start doing this, Kelsey? Is this your first year or is your second?
This
first
is
year?
my first time leading the
All
cantata.
right, okay.
Yes. So we've been practicing since the first Sunday of October.
Wow.
And every Sunday since.
Wow.
So
Is it hard to get them all together at one time? And a lot of people say, I think the high school was on here, and they had never had the whole group together for their play. You know, is that
Yes.
kind of
it's similar to that. I think a lot of people are busy, so we provide like practice tracks for them, and they can practice on their own, and then
okay.
they make it as often as they can. Of course, we had weather one week too,
Yeah,
keeping us
right,
from going.
okay,
So just make it work.
So where do you practice?
They practice at the Methodist Church.
Okay, and So what's the theme, I guess, or what's the name of the cantata this year? What's going to be?
This year's cantata is called "Behold a Savior."
Okay.
Yes.
Now, is this a special cantata just written? Are there any familiar songs in there, or do you have a lot of songs that are just written for this?
Well, most of the songs were written just for this, but you'll hear a lot of recognizable carols just kind of twisted up a little
Sure.
bit.
Okay. So what's it about? Is that a storyline at all?
It does. It's talking about the birth of Jesus, but it also talks about different people's viewpoints of the story from where it happened. So there are little narrations from Zechariah and Joseph and Mary
Sure.
and things like that.
Okay. So how many do you have in the?
I think we have 40 to 50 people or so.
Wow.
Full risers, so a good
Four
bunch.
risers.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's been the hardest thing in getting all these people together? Do they just show up and can anyone sing? I mean.
Oh yeah, we'll take anybody who wants
Well,
to
I
sing.
don't think you would want me.
Well, you don't have to sing loud. You just sing.
I sang in the high school vocal chorus, and bass, obviously. And I don't read music, of course. And if the little black things go up, I would go up, and the little black things go down.
That's a great start.
That's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
start.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you decide on this particular presentation?
Well, last summer I had the chance to just kind of listen to whatever is all out there.
Oh, okay.
They have samples of a lot of them online, and I just wanted to find something that I personally liked because it's a lot more fun to teach something if you like it too.
Sure,
So,
right.
yeah.
You have to pay rights for this, copyright? Is it
Well,
for music?
yeah, the bank actually purchases all of the practice books and all
Okay.
of the music for us.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yes.
So, as you meet on Sunday afternoon, how long you usually sing for?
They've been practicing for 1 hour every Sunday,
Wow.
and we kind of review what we learned the Sunday before and take on a new song, and hopefully they listen to it a couple times during the week, and then this last week or two we've been singing the whole thing through to work up our stamina for singing.
You didn't have tryouts. Did you have
Oh
tryouts?
no, no, we had tryouts for the solos only, and then
Okay,
everything else we
sure.
just welcome everybody with open arms. So.
Okay. Well, did you have to listen and say, well, you're not really a tenor. You really should be a bass or something. Did you ever have to any moving around like that?
Maybe a little bit, but for the most part, they all know where they're comfortable. So.
Is there any charge for this?
No, you can come in free.
Okay,
So.
and at the Huck Boyd?
It is. It's at the Huck Point Center Saturday night at 7, and then also again Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Wow, 7 and 2, and do you have what's the age group from where to where? I know sometimes you have some younger. Do you have any?
We do. We have some young kids this year. I think our youngest participant is a 5th grader.
Wow.
And then we have all the way up. So a lot of
All the way up to-
advanced singers
Okay.
like that. So and plus the amendments also in it.
Okay. Oh, really? Oh, so that helps everything
Yes.
get together. So, well, it's great. I think I don't know how many years they've been doing this, but
Almost as long as I can remember, honestly. Yeah.
okay. And where did you go to school?
I went to school at Logan.
Okay.
So I remember watching it too as a kid.
Okay, you remember doing that. Okay, I know. I've got some other. I've got the Logan Bell Choir is going to come on this morning
Oh.
too. They're going to talk about what's going on at the
Yes.
Methodist Church, I think. And, and we're going to
have
come
their
on
own
later
cantata.
on
Yeah.
and talk about it. So, and we said, how can we get someone? When we found out Kelsey was also the amendment and the concert choirs coming up with the program. So how do you keep them? How do you keep everything separate?
I don't know that I do. We have some overlap. No. Honestly, I love music, and so you just try
Sure.
to kind of just consider this time of year to be a good kind of busy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Logan, but then I also went to K-State for college.
You're a Wildcat fan.
Yes, sir.
What about the new football coaches?
We'll see. I like him. I think he has a
Well,
lot of heart, so
my-
I'm sure it's a tough subject right now. But
Yeah, I've got as everyone knows, I've got a son who lives in Houston, that lives and dies K-State. He graduated, and he is not very happy with the president. And a lot of them aren't. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
They probably should have gone with some. I saw the interview they had with him yesterday. Great interview.
Yeah, very
And
good.
he's kind of the same line of Snyder family type of thing. So I
Yes.
think, I'm going to let him do it.
exactly. Give him a chance.
Give him a chance to
Yeah.
do it and see if we can do that. Well, that's great. So, and basketball, we won't get into that either. But
Yeah.
you still follow K-State quite a bit?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, very
A
good.
lot of fans in the
All right.
family.
All right, we'll come back at the end of my interview and talk about this again. Okay, now what's coming up Monday night?
Okay, Monday night at 7 is the concert choir and amendment concert.
Okay.
Yes.
Now what is that? You've been practicing for that obviously a long time.
Yes, the amendment's been practicing. Well, both groups have been practicing their songs since about the beginning of November, and so we have a few songs actually this year. We're going to try combining. So
Okay.
we're going to have some of just the choir and some just amendment, and then some of both
Together,
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Some of the good old-fashioned Christmas carols.
Yep, we have a mix of traditional carols and then some brand new stuff, as well as a few songs that aren't even Christmas related, but we just liked them. So
So that's at Hug Boyd too.
that's also at the Huck Boys.
Are we lucky to have the Hug Boyd Center?
It is so nice. We are really gifted with that.
The acoustics and everything are
Yeah.
perfect. Have you had a chance to practice the cantata yet at the Hug
Yes,
Boyd?
yes. Last night we did.
Okay,
So.
so it sounds great.
It sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, so when is the concert for Monday night? When does that start?
Okay, Monday night's concert's at 7,
Mm-hmm.
and it should last probably about an hour. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Any admission price or anything on that? Is-
No, free
just-
admission. Just come and enjoy.
It's like you're at like a basketball game, you pay, but you
Yeah.
get a chance to hear great music.
Yeah,
Free,
no
okay,
charge.
okay.
Just come and listen.
Do you find that students now teaching them the songs that they like Christmas carols and they'd like to sing that? Or,
They seem to, yes. And there's a lot of new releases of new versions of the songs, and so a lot of the kids like those. And so I try to get them a mix of the new stuff and the old stuff, so they appreciate it all.
okay, well that's great, and just going out at 7:00, and then let's go back to cantata now. That's Saturday night at 7?
Saturday night at 7, and then Sunday at 2.
Okay, so
Yes.
you can enjoy the weekend and then end up by a lot of people go both times, both Saturday
Yeah.
night and Sunday afternoon. It gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Kelsey, we appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thank
and,
you.
let us know about a lot of music this
Yes,
weekend.
lots of
Chances,
music.
a lot of great music,
Yes.
and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Okay,
to you
fine.
too.
Thank you,
Thank
Kelsey.
you.
Kelsey Pinkerton with us this morning about the music programs coming up in Phillipsburg. All right, we're going to talk about trains next, I think, and we'll be back after this timeout.
Coombs Incorporated in Phillipsburg, offering local and long-distance hauling, complete shop service, including an automatic aluminum polisher to restore and refurbish those aluminum truck rims to a mirror finish, and 24-hour towing service. Now hiring over-the-road drivers traveling 48 states. Excellent benefit and pay package. See Coombs Incorporated on Facebook. Coombs Incorporated. You call, we haul.
Back on the Tadpoll for this Thursday morning, and we're going to talk about trains. I grew up wanting an electric train for Christmas, and year after year, I grew up, when I was interested in trains, it was during the Second World War. You know, I'm at that age, and Lionel was big, and Lionel was big with her trains, the O gauge, but because of the war efforts, you could not get electric trains. And so they had cardboard. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
They had cardboard books, and you would punch them out and put cardboard trains together. Right? You'd heard about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what my Lionel trains were during Christmas, during 41 through 45. Then after that, I think I ended up getting electric, and then went to HO. But that's another story. Anyway, we have Bill Schick with us this morning, who. Are you the official engineer out there, CNR Railroad? What's your official title out there, Bill?
I'm the cleaner of the trains, okay?
Cleaner of the trades.
but
all
I
right.
but I run them too. But
Sure.
most of there's I help out there, and then my brother Merlin. and
Sure, right.
He does a lot of the electrical things out
Sure,
there and works
wow.
on the tracks and does that kind of thing. And Mike James is out there and runs them. And Merlin and Mike, Merlin has one part of the train set, and Mike has the other ones. That's where they feel the most comfortable
Sure.
with and run them. And then we have Brian Arment that comes out and helps run them. there's a person that's just moved here, I think recently from Phillipsburg, and he come out to see the trains one day. His name is Jeff Worth, and then he started coming out learning how to run them. And then Craig Ralston also comes out and helps run them. So we have quite a few people to do that. And we usually are out there from 1 to 3 or 4 on Sunday afternoons. And this past year we've run more trains than we ever have for trade shows. And people have found out that we're out there, and so they just show up. Yes, they just show up, and we like that because then we can play and don't have to work. If they don't show up, we have to work. But we do that, and it takes us just about every Sunday up until September to get everything cleaned again to run for the next year.
You talk about cleaning. The tracks have to be cleaned so the electricity gets to the trains and everything.
That's correct, and we have a track cleaner that a car that just is specific to put the lubrication on there to clean the track, and then Mike's also rigged up like a paint roller that you can walk out there and go over the tracks with that to keep it clean. But you have to keep that clean, and then you have to clean the wheels. And
really,
all the wheels on there, and then there's little round rollers underneath the engines that you have to keep clean. When we first started cleaning them, a lot of them we don't think had ever been cleaned, and we use Goo Gone to get the stuff, the buildup off of them. And this last year we just used regular rubbing alcohol, and then that helps keep the stuff from building up on the track a lot better.
Keep the traction and being able to get your electricity. You mean you take each one of those little wheels and a Q-tip and alcohol?
Yeah. Now
there's a lot of wheels there.
Two years ago, we went through 7,500 Q-tips. Just cleaning. This last year it wasn't quite so bad because it was there, but we have. I was going to make sure I have this right. We have 146 engines out there. We have 261 cars. We have 41 cabooses for a combined rolling stock of 448 cars, engine and cabooses. And everything that we have runs. All
the engines run.
Everything runs. If it doesn't run, we've Mike and Merlin and those guys and Brian and Craig, they've sit there and they'll take them apart and see if they can figure it out. If they can't, then we have a place up in Nebraska or in Kansas City that we take them to. But they've got to where they can pretty well fix anything that doesn't work.
Do you change the engines out, or do you have the same rolling stock all the time?
We'll use some engines for a while, and then we'll get other ones out there on the track, and we try to run them all the trains at least once or twice, the engines at least once or twice a year, because if they sit, then that's hard to get them get them back up and going. So we'll pull them out, and some Sundays we'll just take some of the engines and just sit there and just run the engines that are on the shelves and things like that. But there's a lot of work to keep everything cleaned out there.
Do you lose your collection or your connections every once in a while when something won't run on a certain section of the track? Or?
Yeah, there'll be some, like there's little copper clips that connect the tracks together, and they'll get corroded. And so then you've got to pop them off, and Merlin will go out there with his meter, and then he can test exactly what part of the track he is at. And then him and Mike, they spend hours out there labeling all the switches up above where we run them, and then down below everything is labeled so we can just go right through some places and find that. And then Merlin made us some diagrams that shows exactly where the switches are and where where the power is for each one of the tracks, so you know what transformer to go there. And we've had people come out. If people want to run the trains, we'll let them come up and run them, and they'll think that looks easy, and then when they get up there, they realize that there's a lot more to it, switching all the switches, and we can take the trains wherever we want to out there. So they've got everything on that track. It works really good. And sometimes because they run all the time, a part of the track will raise up a little bit, and so then they have to get a hammer and knock that back down so that it's smooth, But they can always find out where the trouble is.
I did shows with Bill, when he was up above, and then of course passed away. He went out here, and it was always so much fun because he was so the story he told about growing up and liking the trains and everything, and he was really. It's an amazing. If you haven't been out there, and you have an opportunity, I don't know. Do you want people to stop in on Sunday afternoon?
Yes,
you may see me out there.
That's
now.
fine. That's fine.
Because I love trains too. You know,
anybody can come, and if people want to learn how to run them, we'll be glad to teach you how to run them. And it takes a while because every engine, the power source is in a different place, and so when you go from one transformer to the next, you've got to know how much power to do that. And I still derail them all the time and stuff.
That was and can you get anywhere on the place? You can get there, can't you? Because it's built so you get up on there.
You can get up there and climb out there.
You derail them once in a while.
Oh yes, that's very very common, and we can sit out there and practice, and then as soon as somebody shows up, then this switch doesn't want to work or that switch doesn't want to work, so they tear them out. Now, our train shows that we have coming up.
Next thing I wanted to ask you about.
We're going to have one Friday, December the 21st, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock in the evening. And then we're going to have one the next day on Saturday, December the 22nd at 10 o'clock. And then we're also going to have one on Monday, December the 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we'll have 3 different times that you can come out. And
do you have to make a reservation?
Yes, you need to make reservations because we can only put so many people in the rooms. And you can call the Huck Boyd Center at 785-543-5535 and talk to Paula or Jim out there, and they'll get your name down on there.
So how many can you handle?
We've had between 60 and 70 in there, and that's when it's pretty crowded in there that way.
Do you find out a lot of people coming back to Phillipsburg come to that?
Oh, yes.
The people live here, they'll make reservations and come out and see it. Do the adults like it as much as the kids?
Yes, the adults like it. The adults like it just as much as the kids do. And sometimes people will be in town and they'll just call up there, and then Paul will get a hold of us and see if we have time to come out and run them. Sometimes we do, and sometimes it doesn't. But we always try to make arrangements. And during vacation, I got some people from Leota had contacted me, and they was putting together his model train set that he had when he was little, and it wasn't working. And so somebody said to get a hold of us out there, and so we gave them some ideas, and they was going to take their kids to Ottawa, I think it was, to ride the Polar Express, their grandkids, and then on their way back home, if they can work it out, they're going to stop to see our trains. So the word's getting out all over about our trains. Then
it's amazing.
The Boy Scouts come and use that as part of their communication merit badge for 3 weekends or weeks in June, and so through that, word gets out around the state about our train collection. So
how did you get involved doing this?
Well, I was getting ready for a band concert one day, and they said that Paula was saying that Tyler Bowl was going to be getting ready to go to college, and that they needed somebody to run the trains. And so I said, well, I can try it. And so I went to one train show that Tyler and Doyle put on out there, and then he took off and went to college, and here we sat. So the best way to learn is trial and error, I guess, because once we do something, we don't forget. And then Mike, he is on the Huck Boyd Foundation board, and so he got interested in doing it that way, and then Merlin got interested, and then different people just have come on like that like to do that.
That's an amazing facility out there, along with the Huck Boyd, everything. And of course, they've added a room right next to that where they have a lot of the photographs and everything that Bill Clark had, which is a great opportunity to see, people who come back. Well, I want to see pictures, that's a great.
Oh yeah,
right. Okay.
They usually, when we get done with the train shows, then we always open up the photography rooms for people to go out.
You have a favorite train?
Oh, I like them all. There's a couple of them that they run easier for me, and I've never derailed them. So those are probably the ones that I like to run the
people
best.
On the train. Even the thing goes back. The trolley goes back and forth. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then we had last year we got a Thomas the train, and it made its first.
Thomas.
It made its first debut last Christmas, and the first time. that had come out, there's about 30 little kids standing around there, and they started jumping up and down and screaming that Thomas was there. And he is probably the hit of big kids and little kids. And then another thing that we've added, it was for last Christmas, was we put a penny press machine in, and so we have a picture of you can press out a locomotive for like the Rock Island Rocket. We have another one that has a steam engine on it to represent Huck Boyd, because Huck was very instrumental in keeping the railroad going through northern Kansas and southern Nebraska and western Colorado. And there's a certificate there that was given to Huck from the Chamber of Commerce here at Phillipsburg for his work in bringing Kyle Railroad to town here. And so we have that commemorating. It says the Huckleberry Lion on there. That was his newspaper column when they was bringing Kyle Railroad through here. So we have a penny press on there. And then we have an ice machine that pushes the ice into the cars to keep the fruit and the vegetables cool and stuff. And so we have a penny for that. And then we have another penny of man we call it, that's Bill standing behind his camera with the hood over the top of him. So that depicts the photography.
Souvenirs. That's a great idea.
So so we have that out there, and then just he has 105 books, railroad books out there that we have in the cabinet, and we're wanting to build some shelving so that we can display all of his books. And we try to bring different things out at different times, and we've taken some of the engines apart and have them on display back there so people can see what goes on to those engines. And then we have a test track that we can when we take the engines apart, then we can test it out there instead of having to put it on the regular track.
Well, that's a regular operation.
It's a really cool
thing. Do you have a rocket? Do you have a rocket?
We have a Rock Island
rocket.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
We have one of those out there, and I think Merlin that's one of them that Merlin rides, and he has it hid underneath, so he'll bring different trains out, and then he'll sneak that.
Do you remember the rocket? Were you?
Yes.
Have you been around long enough?
When Mother would take us up about 4:30, 4:45, and everybody would sit up at the depot, and we'd watch for the rocket to come in, and the rocket would come in, and then we'd watch all the people get off or deliver the mail, and then when that was done, then everybody would go back home. But sometimes some weeks that was an every night occurrence.
It sure was.
To go up there and watch that.
It's amazing. I grew up in Garden City on the Santa Fe. The railroad was big. They had El Capitan and the Super Chief and the Chief. They were the premier passenger trains, and they had what they call the Pigs and People, which had made up the train half of passenger cars and half of cattle cars, and dairy cars and all that kind of stuff. And there was a train through town about every hour. So that shows how things have changed on that. On that. So you remember the rocket? Was that eastbound or westbound when it come in?
It come in from the west.
Okay, so when was the one going east then?
I'm not for sure.
It had to be during the night or sometime in there.
But that come in from the west. I remember that. And then you was talking about those cars. We have a chicken car out there. We have two different chicken cars out there, and I asked my parents. They didn't remember ever seeing a chicken car. And Bill has hundreds, if not thousands, of photos of trains. And when I was going through there was a picture of a chicken car that was taken over at Smith Center, because he has them labeled.
I don't remember ever seeing them. They had cattle cars, a lot of cattle cars, and for that, of course, refrigerator. They just had to put the ice in, and that's why they had to stop. That was before they had refrigerated cars, where you had everything there. So it's amazing. So. Did you have electric train when you were a kid? Did you remember?
Just a little bitty one, not very
HO
big.
Maybe. You used to have one you'd wind up, and then it'd go around, and then if you had a little more money in the family, you could afford it. You'd have an electric train, and with the transformers and
me and Merlin had one together, and it was just a little bitty, train.
I had some HOs. I got an HO. I didn't really go. I always thought it'd be great in the basement to have a setup for HO or O gauge, and of course, it was Lionel, and then the American Flyer came on, and they were kind of the competitors. American Flyer was the first electric train that only had two rails. The Lionel had the middle rail for the power, but American Flyer just had two rails. I think you didn't have to have. I don't know how it got the electricity into the train, but But anyway, so
We went to Mike has taken us to some train show down at Wichita, and when we was talking to people, some of them seemed interested and some didn't. And Craig, he would get out pictures of that he had on his camera of our train set. As soon as people saw what we have there, they was very interested in talking to us.
Sure,
I mean, it changed the whole thing. And then Mike, when he goes different places, he always stops and visits different places.
I've stopped at one, and it's right off Kellogg, I think, in Wichita on the north side. They have a big building there with different people that have their permanent displays, and they move it somewhere for Christmas or something, I think. And so okay. Anything else on? When are the shows again?
The shows are going to be next Friday, December the 21st at 7 o'clock in the evening, Saturday, December 22nd at 10 o'clock, and then Monday the 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the number to call is 785-543-5535 for your reservation.
And it's I tell you, it's worth it. The kids like it, the adults like it, and just see what it's done there. It's amazing the how it was built and everything, and professionally done. And
I think we have 21 trains that we have out on the tracks right now that 21 different trains that we can bring out.
Did you ever have any head on or anything?
No, but we've got close a few times. Sometimes we wouldn't have a switch turned off, and all of a sudden somebody starts yelling that another train's coming out. And it's usually me that's messing up on it.
Well, I think, and if we can work it out, we're gonna. I got the okay from Rachel that if we work it out, we'll be out there next Thursday morning. We'll have to contact the people we have coming here and come out there, but we'll set up out there. Maybe you could run a little bit for us or something. If we'll figure out. Tentative plans aren't out to be out there next Thursday with the Tadpoll.
All right, that'll be
fun.
And
if that's okay with you, we'll figure out a way to do things there. While I got Bill here, I've got it. We were talking the other day. You remember the Orange Bowl?
Yes.
Was that in 71?
I'd say that was
71. You were in the band. What were you? What?
Played clarinet.
Again, with my son.
Yes.
Right. Were you a sophomore too?
Yes.
So you went on and a band director, and then later on, when you were band director of Plainville, he called me up one day and says, "Tad, with the band's going to the Citrus Bowl, you're going to Citrus Bowl. Do you want to go along and report back?" And I went down there. I had a great time with the Plainville people there. That was fun.
Yeah.
And just the things that the bands have been involved in there. So.
And I ain't bragging, but we were pretty good down there.
I know.
We marched in that parade.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl, of course, that was the year that Nebraska, we went to the Orange Bowl, and Nebraska was played LSU. Notre Dame and Texas were number 1 and number 2, I think, and they both lost
and
in
Nebraska
the afternoon
won
games.
The national championship.
And Nebraska, I was in the end zone when Jerry Taggy snuck it over for the touchdown to win it for Nebraska. I mean, I was within 10 yards. He waved at me. So I was taking pictures for Huck Boyd. I was out of film by then, so I was like this, look, and he waved at me. I didn't get the picture, but I wasn't supposed to be down there. I had a pass that don't let me be down there before the game, halftime, and after the game, and I went out on halftime for the halftime show, and I thought I'm going to stay down there. And this one guy kept eyeing me, security, and he'd come running at me, and I'd run somewhere like I was taking pictures. I stayed with for the whole second half, and I was right there, 10 yards in the end zone when Taggy and the guy from Sports Illustrated was right next to me taking the picture that showed up the next week in the Sports Illustrated on Taggy getting in that touchdown.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a great trip. Ran into some bad weather on the way back. I had to stay in Concordia overnight. Remember that?
Oh,
stayed in homes. Did you stay in a home? Or
yes,
I
stayed
at a motel. I thought we got them for some reason, but we had to stay there, and it was great.
They had to bring the state trucks out to take us into town off the buses.
Right? Yeah, they did.
The buses couldn't go no further.
There were 125 members or something in that band.
Plus
Pride of Kansas is really.
Yeah, we had 120 in the band, and then the sponsors that went with us and stuff.
And that's where I came up with the idea about going on and reporting back. And I reported back. I interviewed the kids and all this, and then what really worked out was when we got stuck. We were supposed to land in Kansas City. They landed us in St. Louis because of the weather. They finally got us to Kansas City, and then we were in the buses to Concordia. We couldn't go any further. And I was reporting back all the way, and I always felt kind of like when I go back in town, people were really happy that I was along to let them know, because that was before cell phones, you didn't know what was going on. And I would report back, and it was a great trip, and that kind of got me started in going with the kids to New York and doing along that.
Yeah.
Well, when's your concert coming up?
After Christmas.
Okay, so
The end of January.
we'll have you on here to tell us about that.
Sure.
That's good. Anything else?
No, I think we've got it pretty well
Okay,
covered.
well, I'm glad to know that if I have nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon, I might stick my head in.
You come out there anytime.
And next week, if we can figure it out, we'll be out there and do our show from out there.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right.
Well,
All right.
thank you,
Thank
Bill.
you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have a Merry Christmas. Well, I'll see you next week.
You betcha.
Have a Merry Christmas. All righty. Let's see. Next we have scheduled Mike Gower. If Mike might be out there, we'll see. We'll take a timeout. On a busy Thursday morning Tadpoll, as we like to talk about things going on in the community, a lot of things going on. Just had Bill talking about the CNR Railroad and what they're going to be doing. And as we mentioned, we're going to try to figure out a way to do our show out there next week. Mike Gower's joined us, the superintendent of USD 325. We had you on, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't know.
A couple weeks ago, I think.
About the drug testing in the school. And Monday night, the board looked at it, and there was a decision made Monday night on what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, we'd had an issue with too much hair being taken,
Right.
and so they suspended that while we explored other options. And we found another company. We had them come in and demonstrate how they would perform the testing, and reinstated that Monday night. So
Okay.
it's back. It's a go, and could happen, at any time.
Okay. It's my understanding that with the hair, and excuse it, with you and me, I don't think they've had a little trouble doing this, get it. But why they take the hair is it shows a longer use of it. Is that is that what the use of the hair
Yeah,
is?
they actually okayed the use of oral swabs. We've used those some as an alternative. So, like for somebody like me, if you couldn't get that, you can take body hair, but we're not getting into that.
Sure.
So it was okay to use swabs as oral swabs as well. But the hair, what we like about the hair is it goes back further and shows whether you've used illegal drugs for a longer time. Swabs would be a shorter time, but we're going to mix it up a little bit and have. In the past, the company had been coming once a month, and so everybody knew, okay, well, they've been here, they're gone.
Yeah.
Now they're going to come more times a month.
Really?
And so, the whole idea is how this all got started is we had parents and patrons coming to us and saying, hey, your high school's full of drugs, you're not
Sure.
doing anything about it. So what this, why that was started was to combat that. Really, the public perception that there is drugs out there. Well, we're trying to show you, no, there's not, or
Sure.
The whole idea of don't start. If you don't start something like that, you don't have to go through a process of trying to stop it.
Right, right.
Whether it's smoking or a bad habit like me, eating too much. If you go overboard, it's hard to stop. And so the whole point is promote a healthy lifestyle and don't go down that path.
Sure. Okay. So, and it was done. I mean, the board didn't just arbitrarily decide we're going to do it. I mean, there was a lot of, my understanding, a lot of comments coming. Something needs to be done, and that the board reacted to that, which makes sense.
Yeah, we'd had it. This is the second year, and with all the negative publicity, then people kind of got into the philosophy. Well, why are you doing that?
Sure,
Invasion of privacy, and it's like anything we deal with, Tad. There's going to be all kinds of opinions.
Sure.
There's some people who don't think we're doing enough.
Yeah.
You need to be testing for alcohol. You need to be testing for tobacco, and some of those are a really small window.
Sure, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I feel like the board really compromised. I mean, they're going to use some swabs and they're going to use some multiple testing times during a month, and again, it's to promote a healthy lifestyle, and we're trying to gain back the trust of our students. And I guess what I really want to apologize for is to the students. I'm sorry we had to go through that. That was not the intent of the program.
Sure.
And to the patrons in the community. I mean, we brought a lot of negative publicity to the school and the community, and I apologize for that. That was not the intent, and the board members took a lot of heat. I mean, people were upset with them. It wasn't the board members' fault. They looked to me for, okay, what's the recommendation? What's the company we're going to use? And I recommended this company, and quite frankly, they, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And so what, that's what life's about. So we made a mistake. Now, what are you going to do about it? Okay. We explored the issue. We found a different company, and I've got trust and confidence in this company that they're going to do the right thing.
Well, and okay, another, you might explain a little bit now. Everyone's surprised that you were doing this, right? I mean,
yeah.
It was nothing was just all thrown in there, right?
Everybody signed a form. You have to sign a permission form.
Okay, all right.
You have a constitutional right to an education. So you can come from 8 to 3. Everybody's entitled to their public education. But extracurricular activities are a privilege.
Okay.
So anything after that is a privilege. And so if you want to participate in that, then you had to submit to drug testing.
Sure.
Now, if you don't want to submit, you're not interested in any activities. You just want to go 8 to 3. No problem.
Okay.
No need to sign.
Okay. I think. Yeah.
But we had some people even that their kids aren't in activities and said, "Hey, we're going to sign. We want them.
Sure.
We want to know. We want to.
Sure.
We want to
Right.
be proactive and stop that before." But you have a right to an academic, to a school day, not to the extracurricular activities. And so then you get people saying, "Oh, well, you're testing the students. Why don't you test the teachers?"
Yeah.
Well, that would be up to their union. There's legal requirements.
Sure.
Now, if the teachers were all to say, our union says, yeah, we're all for that. We all want to test. Okay, but you can't.
Sure.
It's a different thing. The teachers, that's their job. What we're talking about is focusing on
And it's
extracurricular.
extracurricular activities.
A privilege,
Yeah,
something that's a
right.
privilege.
Yeah. Okay. Very. I'm glad to clarify that because, misinformation and all
Oh,
that
sure,
and stuff
sure.
gets out there and everything. So
The one thing you have to do, the one group that is legally bound to be tested, and that's the bus drivers.
okay.
So that's the law. So I'm a bus driver, so I'm in that pool.
Okay.
So I have to submit to
Sure.
to drug
Wow.
testing. But and then the other thing that it's random. You put all the kids' names are in there, and then they computer program randomly draws, and so we've had some kids be drawn several times.
Sure.
We've had other kids never
just
be
random.
drawn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's just a random act. You don't say we're just going to pick football players, or
Okay.
we're just going to
Okay.
pick
That's
volleyball
good to know
players.
that,
No,
luck of the
it's
draw, right?
Luck of the draw.
Okay, so that's
Luck
how
of the
that
draw.
works. All right. Well, so the board now we're going on the new company and everything. Okay.
Got a new company, and we had been doing 10 kids, 8 at the high school, 2 at the middle school. We're going to get a few more in. We're going to use the oral test, which doesn't go as far back, and we're going to use the hair test too, and it'll be random how many we do each month.
Okay.
So some months we may do a few more hair tests. Some months we may do more oral tests.
Sure.
And then the other change is it'll be multiple times in a month.
Okay,
They won't
okay.
just come and be done. They
Yeah.
may come back a couple times
Okay.
throughout the month.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on,
Sure,
clarifying all this and
You bet.
and what's going on. Anything else going on? You're getting ready for Christmas vacation?
Yeah. Still kind of on the high from the state football championship.
yeah.
That was a good deal, and a lot of kids earning postseason awards. And then I also want to shout out to Coach J.B. Covington. He was named Kansas Football Association Coach of the Year.
Well, he was.
And so not only for Class 2A, but for all
all
classes.
really?
Yep. So pretty proud of that, and proud of all our kids, and you really got to bask in the glory of some of that stuff that didn't come around very often
Well,
sometimes. So.
And last Sunday morning out at the school, they were trying to raise money for the rings.
Yeah.
And I was there. And I saw some $100 bills in there.
Well, I thought you probably put those in there, didn't you?
Did they do pretty good?
I think they did. I haven't got a final report, but as usual, our community supports our kids well. So that's a great thing.
I mean, I really enjoyed the football players with their shirts on and making the pancakes.
Yeah.
I got in there. I hadn't sat down. I already had someone brought me a plate of pancakes.
Yeah.
They were having a good time.
Yeah,
too,
they made them work for it.
Okay.
It was a good deal. Good deal.
Those rings are nice.
Yeah, it's a
gonna be great.
good memory for the kids. Proud of them. A lot of hard work goes into that.
Clarify this. I don't know. Maybe you don't keep up on it, but Keisha, you can't give the players the ring, so that makes them professional, right?
Yeah,
So
basically.
how does that work?
You-
How are they going to get the rings?
I mean, they can pay for them themselves,
Sure,
or do some type of a fundraiser like this. It's just that USD 325 can't pay for it, or
Sure.
give them something. That'd be like you're saying.
Professional, yeah.
You'd lose your amateur status, and you could be, miss some games
Sure,
or something.
right, yeah.
But no, they where they did the fundraiser and those kind of things.
They can
No
help
problem there. It just can't be a gift.
Okay,
you know,
because well, in the summertime, the golfers, we talk about this. They can go to these tournaments, but they can't win anything. They have to sign up ahead of time, I think, saying that they will not accept something. Because they're
That's right.
professional.
That
And
you
Keisha
crossed
really-
the line there. Yeah.
And I know you've been involved with Keisha for a long time, Kansas State High School Activity Association. We have a strong association here. I was in Idaho. They had a high school association, not much. They didn't have, and of course that could have changed the years since I've been gone. But the association in Kansas really keeps saying. I know they take some hits sometimes on
Sure.
some of the things they do, but it's really strong. I think they do a good job.
Oh
I think
yeah,
they'll
they've
do a
got
good job.
discipline and structure, and they do a good job. Like you said, they take some heat, but that's what happens when you make decisions sometimes that people don't agree with. But,
I think the biggest heat is that maybe the 4 best teams in the state are in the same sub-state.
Yeah.
Well, no way you don't want, because they're all in the same area.
geography plays a role in that.
Yeah. I don't know what that does. That's
the way it goes sometimes.
that's. Did you see Central Plains play at all?
I did. Yeah,
isn't that a program?
They've got a good program. That's a good way of putting it. But
Yeah.
It takes a while to get there, but back to our program. I mean,
Sure, right.
football, you just plug somebody else in.
Sure, right.
Oh well, we won't be as good next year because we lost so and so.
Yeah, well,
no, I don't. That
no,
hasn't been the
no,
case.
no,
I
that-
mean, somebody else steps up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
But I think we've had continuity with our coaches, and that's what we're trying to promote. Keep our staff together and work with the kids year round. No matter what the sport is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while to get there, but got to keep working to stay on top.
On my sports talk a couple of weeks ago, I had JB and all his coaches were on.
Uh-huh.
All of us were on. And I said, boy, I was surrounded by K-State might be looking at that bunch. Because,
Yeah,
well,
good
that's
group
good.
of guys.
Yeah,
Good group of
they
guys.
are, and they're really interested in what's going
Care
on.
about the kids. Care
Yeah.
about the kids. which
Anything
is
else?
What we want. Can't think of anything. Like you said, we're about ready for a break, but wrestling and basketball going strong. Junior high basketball's wrapping up.
Yeah.
And then they'll start in on wrestling when we come back.
Sure, okay.
So,
All right.
busy time as always, but
Okay.
always a lot going on at the school.
Mike, we appreciate you. Really
bet.
appreciate you coming on.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for
Good-
having me.
Yeah, I did appreciate it because it clarify things and everything.
Sure.
It's good to come on, and hope you have Merry Christmas.
You
and
too.
the family have a Merry Christmas.
You
Okay,
too.
thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having
Yes,
me.
sir. Thank you, Mike. Mike Gower, USD 325 Superintendent. I really appreciate you coming on. And we're going to be talking next, I think, with Snyder. Let's see. I can't read my writing here. Judy Snyder's going to talk about the Logan Bell Choir. We'll cover it in here after this timeout.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you. Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
Well, back in the Christmas spirit again, here we're going to talk about something coming up. That's this Saturday night?
It would be Sunday night
Sunday night in Logan.
and
That's
Wednesday night also.
Okay, let's talk. We're the Logan Bell Choir at the Methodist Church and choir, right?
Right.
Okay, so what's happening there?
Well, actually, we call it a community choir.
Okay.
We have people from all different churches, some that don't go to church, I don't know, but I try to make it a community deal.
Okay.
And we have had a bell choir for about 16 years. We've had a choir for about 25 years.
Really? Okay.
And just a really good group of people with talent that we try to share.
And Judy, at the Judy Schneider, I mentioned that Judy's coming on this morning. The bell choirs always amaze me how they know which bell to do. It's amazing.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
They make it look easy,
Sure.
but it is a very difficult thing to do, but it's fun also
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Do you have the music that tells you which bells?
Yes.
How's that? I've often wondered what kind of music they have. Is they bell number 1 or bell number 6? Is that what
Well, yeah, actually they have just the same music that I have, and they highlight their notes.
Okay.
And they'll have different colors for different notes.
Okay,
And
the
so,
colors do it then.
Yeah, they just use different highlighter colors, and then we have chime bells also. So there's regular brass bells and the chime bells, and they mark it through their music, so they know when to play.
How many bells you have to have?
Well, you need
can you
to-
have a lot of bells or
you
fewer
can.
bells if
You
you want to get more notes in or something?
Right. Well, we have a 2-octave choir, which is probably the smallest choir that you would
Okay,
have.
all right.
There are some that go up to 6 octaves,
Ooh,
so
wow, okay.
you need a lot of
Sure.
people.
Yeah,
for
right,
that.
yeah.
We do have 2, and I think Phillipsburg has 3 octaves at their church.
Really?
And,
Okay.
yeah.
So how often do you have to practice? Take a lot of practice.
Well,
practice.
it depends on your director, I suppose. I'm probably a little neurotic, so we practice every week. We
Okay.
start in September, and we practice every week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do they stay on the same bell? I mean, is each person responsible for how many bells, or do you have? Is that how it works?
Right.
Like 2 bells for each hand, one for each hand, or is that how? Or do you
Yeah,
have more
pretty
than
much.
bells?
You divide. Some people have a few more.
Oh, really? Okay.
Bells, but that's just because as you divide the
Sure.
octaves out, I usually have 8 people play in a 2-octave choir, and they each have at least 3 bells.
Okay. Wow.
So,
okay.
and they do sometimes stay on their own bells as we go through different years,
Yeah.
but sometimes I have to switch too. It depends on if I have people leave or
Sure.
who's there that year. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do all kinds of songs? Can you do about anything?
Yeah, we do. We're doing some just classic Christmas this year.
Okay.
But we also play at the one that William Schick has in the spring, so we do different songs then. And,
Sure.
and we don't do Easter. We used to do Easter, but we haven't done that
Sure.
for a while.
Okay. And you also have choir too.
We have a choir, yes, we do. And we used to do musicals also at our church, but this year we're doing just a cantata, and we've done that for quite a few years. This cantata is really, really an exciting cantata. It's very upbeat. So if you like good music, we have some gospel, some spirituals, some calypso in it. It's really
Okay.
quite upbeat. So
All right.
it'll leave you energized after you hear
Right.
it.
And it's on when now?
Okay, so our performances will be this Sunday at 7 o'clock,
Okay.
and then on the 19th, Wednesday the 19th at 7 o'clock
Wednesday
also.
at 7 o'clock also.
Yes,
Okay.
and we have a fellowship afterwards. We have cookies and drinks afterwards if
sure.
you want to stay and visit.
And where is it? Where is that?
It's at the Logan United Methodist
Methodist
Church.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
fine. So you go to the cantata here on Sunday afternoon and then come over there Sunday night.
Yes,
Right,
you
that's
could get your
great.
fill of Christmas music that day, for sure.
This is really a great opportunity to do that. How do you select the songs? In our cantata, you looked at all of them. I had Kelsey on earlier.
Yeah.
She said this summer she looked at what cantata. You do the same thing?
I do the same thing. I look around, and so I guess too bad for the choir, but they get to sing what I pick.
Okay.
So I find what I think will work for us, and maybe something that's challenging, sometimes not as challenging, but what the music that I think they'll like.
Sure.
And I go with that. But I do study it through the summer.
Sure. Okay. Well, very good. And then now you have your music for the bell choir, but is it music just made for bell? Or can you use regular sheet music, or do you have to use music that tells which bells to ring?
Right. No, so the music is actually standard sheet music, but it is arranged for bells specifically. However, you could take a hymn, you could take any song, and you could play
Really?
it with the bell. Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do that.
All right. Very good. Wow. And there's fellowship afterwards at the Methodist Church. What time is it each night?
7 o'clock.
7
7
on
o'clock.
this coming Sunday and next Wednesday.
Right, the 16th and the 19th.
Okay, at the Methodist
Yes,
Church,
yes.
you'll show up. And,
We'd love to see everybody there.
okay, well, that's great. That's really gets you in the spirit there.
Yes.
And I think, so how many do you have in the bell choir? How many?
So I have 8 in the bell
8
choir.
in the bell choir.
And I have 18 in my choir.
Okay, all right. And that's 2 octaves is 8. Does that mean that how it works?
Yes,
2
we're
octaves?
doing 2-octave bell choir,
Okay,
yes.
so if you had like a 6 octave, how many would that take?
Oh, boy. Well, it depends on what your talent level
Okay,
is.
okay.
But I guess times it by
Okay,
6.
8,
Or said
okay.
take 4 more octaves at 8. So.
Really? 4 octaves, 4.
So you have about 4 per octave. 4
Okay.
people per octave.
So that'd be 32
6 times
then,
4,
right?
6, yeah, 24
Something
something
like that.
there.
24,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
It's 4 times 6.
Yes.
4 times. I was thinking 4
Yep.
times 8. 4
Yep.
times 6. 6 be 24.
It might take 32 though, Tad.
Okay, well, we hope the people show up and really great way to get into. I think it's great that we can have, music here all the time. There's a Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, the cantata over your place. The next Sunday and Wednesday, and the amendment and the concert. High school having their choir Monday night, so you really can get your last Saturday night to the chorale. The family from Alma was here and had Christmas music, so a lot of it's.
There's a lot of talent in
Sure
small
there is.
towns that
Uh-huh.
is kind of
Yeah.
a good, I guess, kept secret. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's amazing what talent we have
And that
all
they,
the way around.
that they do the things. And,
It's
okay,
great.
Well, Judy, thank you. I hope
Thank
you have a
you,
Merry
Tad.
Christmas.
You too.
And enjoy next Sunday night and next Wednesday night, Methodist Church, 7 o'clock
7 o'clock.
in Logan. All right, very good. If you like bell choir, be sure you're there and hear the choir also. Okay, all right, we have maybe Angie Wells. Hopefully she'll be out there, and we'll talk with her. Thanks, Judy, and we'll be back after this timeout. And Miss Christmas with us this morning. This is Christmas talking about. It's been a great show this morning about Christmas and a lot of other things going on. I love this part of the country to live, and I love this time of year. So anyway, we're going to talk with Angie Wells here. I'm sure it has something to do with the cantata, right, and the Christmas.
Yes. Okay. So the cantata is this weekend, and I'm sure you've had people talk about that.
We had her on, Kelsey, on today.
Yep. But I'm going to talk about what's happening. You can get a meal after the cantata on Sunday from the post-prom committee.
Ooh, okay.
And the juniors and seniors have sold tickets, and we have a pretty high number of meals that we're making. And so, but if you still want a meal ticket, you can call Rachel Martin at 543-1861, and Rachel will get you tickets, or you can come through the line, and we're changing it up this year. We're having it at the Catholic Church on 7th and Santa Fe, and so we're not having it where we normally do. So there is a change in location, so everybody make sure that you remember that. It's at Tad's Church,
right.
So if you know Tad's Church, then that's where it's at, but it's at the Catholic Church. So please give Rachel a call so we can get our tickets available. We know how much stuff to make. We're going to have roast beef and mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans and cookies and a roll. So you'll have a great Sunday meal.
Okay.
So it's $8 a ticket, and you get all that good stuff. So
You're going to drive in, which is the south entrance of the
I think so. Where the kitchen is, the kitchen door, we're going to have people, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think we're going to have people drive in that way, right? Or are we going to have it in the front door?
They'll pick them up at the front door.
front
The
door.
front
You
door,
go
okay.
to the drive that goes by the front door there.
So, yeah, so the first drive through your little, you got a circle drive.
No, right.
And so they can just drive through there, and then they'll have kids come out, get your ticket. If you got 4 meals, they'll you give them your ticket. They'll come and
That's a
bring
great
you
idea.
out 4 meals. And
Yeah.
so that's just helping the post-prom committee raise a little bit of money, and for the special things that we have for the kids during prom, after prom.
The post prom, they didn't have things like that. When I was back then, we just went to the post prom and they either went and paid at the water tower or went home or something. And don't do that at home, like you say. Don't do that at home.
That's right. It's a good time. I think the kids have a lot of fun. The juniors get gift certificates. The seniors get prizes. If they sell
Sure.
tickets, if they help with different things. It's just a way of having them help. We just need them to help.
So kind of a pre-Christmas dinner for $8,
Right.
and you go enjoy the great music, and then you can go home and have a great meal
Yes,
there.
yes.
So and then contact Rachel.
Contact Rachel if you want a ticket at 543-1861, and but you can also drive up and ask for.
Really? So
yes.
if someone's saying you can, so you'll have
Yes.
enough there.
Hopefully, we usually try to adjust and have what we
Sure.
more than what we need. So, but yeah, we try to do that. So it's a great thing. But my other thing is we had a Christmas lighting contest this year. Phillipsburg Chamber of Main Street did, and I wanted to announce the winners. So I had 3 judges that went around. I drove them around. It was really fun. I was the chauffeur and had the Santa hat, and they had Santa hats. So I wasn't stalking anybody's houses. We were just judging their houses. But first place was Jevin and Jenny Castle got first place, so they get $100 bonus bucks.
Now, do you have the address on that? I'm sorry.
425 Berglund. I should have
425
brought
Berglund.
that paper. I didn't even think about that.
425 Berglund.
Yes.
Okay, they're the winners. So
Yes,
do you
they
remember
won.
what they had?
Oh, they had a lot of stuff.
Okay.
They had anything and everything you could think of. It was really nice, and so I would recommend driving by there and checking it
Okay.
out and seeing. Second place was my mind went whoop. Dawn and Sheila Roberts.
Okay.
And they live down on 7th Street, down that way, North 7th Street.
Okay.
And I think I'm hoping I'm right. 8th, maybe? 7th or 8th. I should have brought that paper. I apologize. But anyway, theirs is very nice. Very, very nice. So they got $75 in chamber bucks. Then it was Joy Lackey got 3rd place. And she's down in that area also, 7th or 8th Street. And then Amy Stevens got 4th place. And it's out on the highway.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And then 5th place was Colin Ryan over on East Street. I think it was East Street. Down there by, Bugbees and all that, down around in that area and stuff. So, yes.
Well, I tell you, just at night, go out and drive up and down every street and you see them all.
Yes, you can.
See them all.
Yes, it was so nice to see people decorate, and thank you to the participants that didn't win. We really appreciate you participating, and keep decorating, and if you didn't call in and wanted your, and if you, next year, if you want your house judged, please call. We would love to come by your house and look at it. It was just such a fun evening, and it was just, the judges had a hard time deciding, but it was a lot of fun. So I need to get with, I got with some of the winners yesterday, but I need to get with the other ones today.
All right.
And so it was just a lot of fun. But yep.
Okay, what else is going on?
Just
It's Christmas is getting closer.
Christmas, and the punch cards are still going on until December 23rd. Shop, locally. There's tons of different stuff out there, and really neat variety stuff that we have that you wouldn't get at another store or another town.
Santa, when's Santa
Santa's
be
coming back on December 22nd.
Okay.
And so it's a Saturday, so he'll be up on the square from 10 to noon. And so it'd be your last time in the event house to see Santa. So if you haven't seen Santa yet, please come in and see him that morning. Other than that, I don't know.
Okay.
Just busy. I'm waiting for a break. So it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, you're coming on next week.
Okay.
With the winners, aren't you?
That's what I announced today was the winner. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But that's after Christmas is when we have
Is that when they're coming on after?
Yeah, that's when we have the
awards. I thought
things.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
well, if you do come on next week, I'll be probably down at the Huck Boyd with the CNR Railroad down there doing a thing.
Yes.
If we can figure out how to do that.
And, if you need things to look at, to do like this holiday season, make sure you go into a restaurant and check out that table tent.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of things on there that Tammy has put on there, and she does such a great job of listing things, and it's just really neat to be able to check out what's going on.
That's the first thing I do. The first of the month is get that from Tammy, and it tells me to look at guests to come on the show and talk about things. All right, very good.
Yes, it's really
all
nice.
right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And if I don't see you before, have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Okay.
You too.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess that's going to do it for a busy Tadpoll for this morning. We do appreciate all the guests who took time to come on with us. And Saturday morning, Sports Talk will be next door next Thursday. And I didn't even think, can you get a signal out of the, okay. Well, that takes care. I was going to check on that, but we might be, if we can work it out, at CNR Railroad next Thursday morning doing the Tadpoll. So we'll see you then, and we'll see you Saturday morning on the Sports Talk.